You see this creepy old man? Turned out to be a serial killer. I'm gonna tell you how he was brought to justice. Welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited to share this next case with you. And if this is your first time here, we do true crime. You're more than welcome to join the community. Our victim is 23-year-old Angelica Cluck. Angelica was a sweet little girl. She had just moved to the chapels. She was continuing her studies in religion. She lived in the chapel house out behind the church, and she lived alone. She was very quiet. She always kept to herself. It took her being missing 5 days before people even realized she was gone. When they could not find her, they called specialists to the church, and they searched high and low, and they tore the church apart. They looked in walls, they looked under the floorboards, and that's where they happened to find sweet Angelica Cluck's body. Her mouth had been gagged with tape, and there was blood everywhere. It was going to be very difficult for forensics because the body was underneath the church in dirt, but they managed to retrieve the body. They took swab tests and did an autopsy. The autopsy found that she was killed by blunt force trauma. The swab test showed that her private parts were abused. There were no clues. She had no enemies. There's literally no motive. So the cops scoured the crime scene. And after searching the whole church, they found in the garage several droplets of blood and areas where blood had been cleaned up. They knew it happened in the garage. So the cops started asking friends and anyone close to her if they had any information. They were able to search pretty much everyone that worked at the church and everyone who had come in contact with her except one person. This was the maintenance worker for the chapel, and his name was Pat McLaughlin. The cops ran his history and found out that Pat McLaughlin was not even a real name. After doing some more research, they figured out his name was Peter Tobin. And Peter Tobin was a real sicko. He had previously been in jail for kidnapping young girls. His ex-wife testified in prison that he held her at gunpoint to abuse her private parts. So a manhunt was launched. Warnings went out, his face was on the news, and after a couple days, 400 miles south of this crime scene, a nurse called in and says that she knows Peter, but he went by a new name. His new name was James Kinney. So the cops traveled 400 miles down and they arrested James Kinney, aka Peter Tobin. While he was arrested, they tracked his locations and realized he had murdered 2 other girls. All of his DNA was all over Angelica's body. He was found with a knife on him. This knife had Angelica's DNA on it. His watch had droplets of her blood still on the watch. During questioning, he would not admit to anything. It's okay though, with all the DNA evidence, the cops did not need anything. They sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. While in prison, he claimed he murdered 48 girls, but the cops have found no proof of this. However, for the 3 girls that he did kill, we hope your souls rests in peace. I know there's gotta be a case you want to hear about. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. And always, thank you for joining me. I'll see you on the next case.